Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Esquire Coaching Radio, where we help attorneys achieve unparalleled personal and professional success. And now here's your host, Ann Jenrette Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Esquire Coaching Radio Show. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you today. As you know, Esquire Coaching is a national coaching and consulting firm that is dedicated to helping lawyers achieve extraordinary whole life success. To that end, we discuss the full range of topics from building business to getting a job to work-life balance and everything in between. Today, we have two very special guests who are going to talk to us about the power of national networks to empower your personal and professional success. Now, as lawyers, we recognize the importance of networking and participating in various bar association activities. Yet, how can we really cultivate and nurture a national network of professional and personal contacts? Well, that's exactly what we're going to learn today. Today, we have two esteemed guests from the American Bar Association who are going to talk to us about the importance of building a powerful national network. First, let me start by introducing Dr. Valeria Stokes. Dr. Stokes is the Chief Diversity Officer and Chief Human Resources Officer of the American Bar Association. In this position, she's responsible for maintaining the ABA's long-standing commitment to diversity as stated in its Goal 3 operating principle to eliminate bias and enhance diversity. And she also directs all of the human resource functions for the association. In her position, which reports to the ABA Executive Director, COO, Jack Rives, she serves as a focal point for all of the ABA's diversity and inclusion initiatives. Previously, Dr. Stokes developed corporate diversity and business solutions to the Affluence Group, Women's Food Service Forum, Tata Corporate Services, and Shore Bank. While she was at AT&T Wireless, she established diversity affinity groups and oversaw development and implementation of strategy for supplier diversity. She's also the co-founder of the Institute of Inclusion and served as co-chair for the Academy of Human Resource Development Global 100 Corporations. In addition to Dr. Stokes, we also have Cie Armstead. Cie is the director of the ABA Center for Racial and Ethnic Diversity, which consists of 4 programmatic entities: the Commission on Racial and Ethnic Diversity in the Profession, the Council for Racial and Ethnic Diversity in the Educational Pipeline, the Coalition on Racial and Ethnic Justice, and the Commission on Hispanic Legal Rights and Responsibilities. The Diversity Center provides the framework for effective utilization of ABA resources that are committed to diversity. It also improves coordination and collaboration of diversity efforts across the ABA and helps to maintain diversity as a priority focus for the ABA. With an expertise in building effective collaborations, Ms. Armstead is the primary coordinator for the Collaborative Bar Leadership Academy Steering Committee that includes the presidents and president-elect of the 4 national bars of color. She also was the coordinator for the ABA Collaborative Project that assessed the state of diversity in the legal profession, and she served as the editor of the resulting ABA Presidential Report, Diversity in the Legal Profession, The Next Steps. Ms. Armstead regularly provides diversity and inclusion consulting services to internal ABA entities, other bar associations, legal groups, and associations. It is such an honor to have both of you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is truly our pleasure to join you and your listeners on this very important program. Thank you, Ann.
Oh, thank you. So let's dive right in. This is such an important topic, and I don't want to take up any additional time. Let's talk about the fact that most practicing attorneys have a number of bar associations in which they participate, from a mandatory state bar to local and regional bars, in addition to affinity bars and practice-specific bar associations. What are the unique opportunities offered by a national broad-based bar association like the ABA that will directly assist an attorney with advancing his or her career?
Excellent question. Well, there are a number of benefits to belonging and being actively involved with a national broad-based bar association like the ABA. I'll highlight a few of them. First, in a very general sense, it's the people on a national basis that not only do you meet, but you have an opportunity to work with side by side. So it's a way for a young attorney or even a seasoned attorney to engage in a substantive way with other attorneys from across the country. Now, it doesn't take much imagination to see how that can be beneficial in your career development, that you have an opportunity to build a positive reputation and a strong network outside of your immediate community, whether that's a geographical community or your practice area in your neighborhood. You can bring your expertise to the table and build a connection that will benefit you in many areas. Specifically, belonging to a national broad-based bar association allows you insight into specific fields of law. The ABA has over 33 different sections, divisions, and forms. Each concentrates on a particular area of the legal field. Lawyers with an interest in any particular field may join one of these ABA groups. And if you visit the ABA's website, you will find practice area sections. We have 21 of them, so there will be one, at least one, probably more, that any attorney will find of interest. We also have 7 divisions. The divisions are generally categorized by demographics or a broad-based focus. For example, there's the Young Lawyers Division, and we also have a Senior Lawyers Division, solo, small firm, and general practice division. So you can see there are many opportunities for individuals to connect on a national basis with like-minded attorneys. In addition to those 2 areas, we have our forums. There are 6 of those, and those are small groups that are focused on a niche area, but at a national level again. For example, we have an air and space law forum or a construction industry forum. So if you're an attorney practicing construction law, it's the perfect opportunity to meet other construction law attorneys across the country, and that can easily lead to building business and developing your career with those who are in your practice area who may not be directly in your geographical area. Also, there's opportunities for professional development, leadership opportunities, discounts on products and services, and one of my favorite areas is an opportunity to publish on a national basis, but I'll share about that a little later. Dr. Stokes, any other general responses to the first question that has been posed regarding unique opportunities offered by national broad-based bar association like the ABA?
Well, one of the things that I would like to reinforce is the importance around professional development and lifelong learning. As professionals in law, it is a profession that has to have continuous learning. Belonging to a professional association such as the ABA gives one the opportunity to have access to continual learning through our legal education courses that are offered not only through our professional development function, but also through the sections. Each one of the sections offers continuing education that will help expand knowledge, understand new laws, etc., which enhances their ability to practice. Another, I want to reinforce leadership opportunities. Leadership within the ABA is resume worthy, and these opportunities provide the individuals exposure within their profession, within their chosen discipline, to help lead that, be actively involved in developing policy which can affect laws, the development of laws, the changes of laws, and to ensure justice for all. So I really think that professional associations such as the ABA provides these opportunities, and they are opportunities that we should not take lightly.
Oh, excellent points, excellent points. And, you know, one of the challenges that we see is, especially when you're first out of law school and you're first joining the profession, a lot of people end up joining just the local. But I would love to hear from either of you. Can you give us some specific examples of ABA leaders who have successfully used their national network to support the advancement of their own careers?
Certainly. I'll start and then I'll volley to Dr. Stokes. Well, it's difficult to narrow down. There are so many ABA leaders that have been successful in doing just that, using their ABA involvement as one piece of many pieces that has helped them develop. I think of Paula Boggs. I'm sure many of your listeners know of a small company called Starbucks. That was her most recent position. She served as Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Starbucks. And she remarked in a recent publication that her role in the ABA, her leadership role, and she has served several leadership roles in the ABA, played a significant part in her career advancement. She cited that the ABA has been an enduring source for her of continuing legal education, leadership, and career development opportunities, as well as networking, friendships, and a way for her to give back to the profession and society. She is a member of the ABA's House of Delegates. That's the governing body of the ABA, well, I should say the policy-making body of the ABA, that has over 500 members. Paula Boggs is a member of that group, as well as several other leadership positions that she has held. And she came out and participated in one of our initiatives called ABA Leaders that highlights the professional experiences of many of our leaders. In fact, if your listeners wanted to find out more about her as well as others, they can go to www.abaleaders.org. But I'll pass it to Dr. Stokes to speak of a few other leaders.
I want to speak about Dennis Archer. Dennis Archer is a past president of the ABA and African-American attorney. I believe he was the first African-American elected president of the ABA. He is well known, particularly for those of us in the Midwest, as the former mayor of Detroit, Michigan. He has been very active in all aspects of the ABA. He has been innovative in achieving policy statements that go in front of the House of Delegates. He also has been exposed to not only the national but the international front. And last year, he was awarded an award by the government of Japan for his work that he has done in the profession of law. He serves as a very strong role model for lawyers of color as to the benefits of being a member of the ABA, and provides the necessary mentorship for young lawyers who are graduating to see what he has done in establishing his network, building his practice, and assisting in the development of other attorneys.
That is phenomenal. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, Bob Carlson is our chair of the ABA House of Delegates, and he is credited for the ABA Bar Leadership Institute that has brought exposure to the national, state, and local bar leaders. And he is very active in ensuring that the House of Delegates of the ABA are advocates for the profession of law and justice.
Those are all excellent examples, not only of the power of the ABA, but also the power of how the ABA helps cultivate leadership. And one thing that we are hearing at Esquire Coaching across the board is how more and more law firms in particular are trying to figure out different avenues to help cultivate leadership among associates, among junior partners, non-equity partners, et cetera. So this is just excellent in terms of leadership and in terms of the opportunities that the ABA helps create. Now, let's also look at the flip side of it. While hearing about success stories is wonderful, sometimes missteps can also serve as a great example of what not to do. Do you have any anecdotes so that our listeners can benefit from someone else's missteps?
Certainly, and it's always easier to learn from someone else's missteps than have to make all of them yourself. As it turns out, we do have a short story here that comes from an article in the Perspectives publication, and that's published by the ABA's Commission on Women. So I will take just a couple of minutes to read through this example because it's an excellent illustration of what not to do, but also how to recover, because being human, we all will make missteps, and so there's power in knowing how to recover after a misstep. As it turns out, it's not enough to put two driven women together and then pronounce them mentor and mentee. Judge Ferdinand Duffley is a justice on the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. She's also a past president of the National Association of Women Judges, and she is currently a member of the ABA's Commission on Hispanic Legal Rights and Responsibilities. Then there's Elizabeth Bailey. She is a graduate of Harvard Law School, and she was a law clerk for the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida in Miami. These two women, Judge Duffley and Elizabeth, they were matched through a fellowship program hosted by Ms. J.D. along with the ABA's Commission on Women. This matching program each year selects women law students to be connected with accomplished women in the profession. While Judge Duffley involved Ms. Bailey in a few events after they were connected as mentor and mentee, and they had some introductory conversations during that first year, they hadn't spoken since Ms. Bailey started her clerkship. When it came time for the two of them to work on a magazine article for Perspectives, they were going to write about their mentoring relationship. A curious thing happened. They actually talked to each other. Prior to that, their communication had primarily been, or exclusively been, electronic. This initial discussion was formal. They caught up on Elizabeth's clerkship and they exchanged pleasantries. But then they started talking, really talking, digging deep about what they thought had happened over the past 2 years. And it became clear at the point that they had real conversation, it became clear that their first impressions of each other, although they were positive, those first impressions had built a barrier. And so during that conversation, they learned that their impressions of each other were not correct. In fact, they were wrong. The belief that Elizabeth did not seem to need a mentor, and the belief that Justice Duffley did not seem to have time for a mentee was the opposite of the truth. Justice Duffley explained why she enjoys mentoring and how mentors give her real satisfaction from providing encouragement and advice. She then asked Elizabeth where she had applied and offered to call the individual she knew well to inquire about openings and convey positive impressions about Elizabeth. In turn, Elizabeth discussed challenges she faced finding work and her reluctance to ask people in prominent positions for help. So the story here between Judge Duffley and Elizabeth Bailey is not to assume, not to work from what we would say would be implicit biases about someone, but to take time to develop real relationships as you meet people on a national basis. Really take time to develop the relationship so you can have a full understanding of how you can be of service to them and how they can be of service to you.
What a fantastic point. And in fact, I took away another aspect, which is actually a great segue to our next question, and that's the importance of recognizing your personal brand, that people are always going to make an assumption about you or take something away from how you present yourself and really lead to your with respect to your reputation. And so one thing that I wanted to just touch base on is next week you are launching a wonderful new initiative called the ABA Legal Career Development Expo. And I know I'm honored to be able to talk about branding at that event. But please tell our listeners a little bit more about this initiative.
I'd be happy to. One of the concerns that we do have amongst the profession is the challenges facing our young, diverse attorneys and young lawyers in being able to work in their chosen profession. When one goes through law school, they learn how to write briefs, they learn and memorize cases, etc. But upon graduating, they do not have those particular skills on finding a job. And so one of the ways that we feel that the ABA can help these individuals is through providing a legal career development expo, whereby those individuals that we have targeted, which have been found in one of our studies, that after 3 years passing the bar, 84% of white young lawyers were employed compared to only 60% of racially or ethnically diverse young lawyers. According to a recent Microsoft report between 2003 and 2012, the percentage of underrepresented minorities employed in the legal profession grew only 0.8%. But we also can account for associates with disabilities are challenged as well. A lot of this has to do with the ability to understand where opportunities are and to be able to establish the skill sets necessary for job search, as well as to develop the networks. And so through the Legal Career Development Expo, we are providing an opportunity to expose some of these young, diverse lawyers and young lawyers to the ABA that they may not have had before. We believe that there is a direct relationship between participation in the ABA, establishing networks, mentorship, and finding employment. And so through our panels, through our personal evaluation planning sessions, which we call PEP sessions, our participants will get a different aspect of what it is that they need to do in order to manage their careers. Cie, is there something else that you would like to add to that?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Stokes. Just one quick footnote, but a very important footnote. The Legal Career Development Expo generated a lot of interest, not only from potential participants, but also from supporting corporations and law firms. And those legal employers also recognize the challenges facing law students and new lawyers. And many of them are taking their own steps to address that issue. For example, one of our supporting partners with this project is Cie Armstead, LLP. That law firm has its own diversity summer mentorship program for 1Ls. And we are pleased to say that Cie is also a member of the ABA's full firm membership program. And so they are a partner that is investing not only with our initiatives like the Expo, but also with their own programming that looks to serve diverse young people who are seeking to enter the profession. So we applaud them for that, and we appreciate their support with the expo.
This is phenomenal. I have to say that I am so 100% behind this initiative. I feel like it is essential that we give the appropriate training and guidance on these critical skills that are not necessarily legal skills to be able to help our diverse attorneys really be able to get employment and succeed. So kudos to you all for putting this expo together. And I know that there's also next week the Minority Council program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that program as well?
Thank you, Ann. Most definitely happy to share information about MCP, as we call it. The Minority Council program is hosted each year by our ABA Commission on Racial and Ethnic Diversity in the Profession. And it is primarily designed to provide a forum not only for CLE, but also for other informative workshops, networking opportunities for practicing attorneys as well as law students. The program that will be held May 14th through the 16th at Lowe's Madison Hotel in D.C. Has a focus on, being in D.C., on government positions as well as traditional legal positions. We are extremely excited about the lineup. It will consist of over 41 speakers, 13 CLE opportunities, and a host of topics. For example, one of our featured plenaries, Meeting the Needs of Society in the Legal Profession, will feature ABA President James Silconet, as well as ABA President-elect nominee Paulette Brown. And we're really excited about both of them, but I will underscore Ms. Brown. She will become the first woman of color to head the ABA starting in 2015. So we're extremely excited to have her aboard as a panelist. Another program that will be at the Minority Council program next week will be a General Counsel Roundtable. It will feature a number of general counsel having a conversation about the work that they do, and most importantly, how attorneys and large law firms and any size law firm can best work with those general counsel. That General Counsel Roundtable will be held on Thursday afternoon. For a full schedule of the MCP program, as well as some special discount rates that are going on right now, your listeners can go to our website, www.americanbar.org/MCP, and not only see the full listing for the 3 days of programs, but also to register. So we encourage your listeners, if they're in the D.C. area, to stop by for the Minority Council program.
Excellent. And could you also share the site for the ABA Legal Career Development Expo?
Certainly. That can be accessed at
www.americanbar.org/diversity.
And then when you go online there, you'll see the expo, and then that will give the information.
Well, I want to commend both of you on these exciting initiatives. You are so committed to diversity and inclusion in the profession and really advancing all of us professionals. And as a member of the profession and someone committed to improving the professional and personal success of lawyers, we salute you. We really appreciate all that you do.
And in turn, Ann, we appreciate the work that you're doing to help prepare both incoming attorneys as well as seasoned attorneys to continue to develop in their career. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So please, listeners, let's keep this conversation going. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Tell us about your comments, and please go and sign up for either the MCP or the Legal Career Development Expo. Let's see you in Washington, D.C. next week. Until then, next week we will not have a radio show because we will be live at the Expo, but we will see you in 2 weeks. Until then, be well, everyone.
Bye.